discussions with Professor Rudolf Tanzi, Professor of Neurology, Harvard Medical School, scientist, neuroscientist, geneticist, one of the top neuroscientists in the world, making breakthroughs in the field of Alzheimer's. And so, Rudy, we were talking about that conscious moment, when possibility waves collapse, and in probably a microtubule in the brain. And as soon as they collapse, they have what is called a conscious moment. There is an observer and there is an object of observation. Before that, there were only possibility waves. Okay? So, that moment of subject-object split is a moment of creation, in a sense, because observer and observed have come into existence out of a field that was only possibilities. And this is how unity, duality, and multiplicity occurs.
So in this model, if you have a collective consciousness that is intimate with this universe and the energy and matter that makes up this universe, so you have all of the energy and matter which is evolving. So you have from the particles, and you keep evolving into higher and higher ordered energy states. It's a paradox, in fact, because at the same time you keep coalescing energy and matter into higher ordered states from a single particle and an atom to a human being like us speaking, the universe is also being blown apart in an accelerated pace. Instead of slowing down, it's accelerating. So we have a complete crazy universe paradox of how you have coalescence and continuing order into more sophisticated energy and matter structures that are capable of consciousness, like at this point humans that we know, and maybe one's much higher than us somewhere else in the universe. But on the other hand, the universe is blown apart. And as soon as you create consciousness and you create energy and matter, and you have a conscious event, as you say, you've now created a subject and an object. But before that, the collective consciousness was just one. So the essence of existence for us as energy matter-based beings in the universe is that we're capable of duality. We can be a subject, we can be an observer, we can identify with the observed. But the question is, who are we really? Are we the subject or are we the object? Or are we both or are we neither? So I'm asking
I would say we are the field of potential that sees itself both as the subject and the object, which is, of course, Tattvamasi, I am that, you are that, all this is that, and that alone is.
Right.
And that is the transcendent being before the subject-object split.
Right.
It's the transcendent being becomes the subject and the object in that moment of subject-object split.
So you would say we're neither the observer
Not the observer.
or the observed. There is a self that is pure potentiality.
That's it.
And that when you have this conscious moment, and you create this duality, pure potential has become the actual.
What we call the actual.
So, if we really go further, you say, what is the purpose of all this? What is the purpose of the universe, the evolution of the universe, purpose of life? It seems to be to convert the potential,
Into the
however small we're doing it, with whatever tiny little brain we're able to do it, whatever sliver at a moment we can possibly achieve it, into the actual. And we will keep, and if you extrapolate, because scientists love to extrapolate, if something holds at this level of complexity, will it hold at the simplest level, like a particle, will it hold at higher levels of complexity? So take a single particle, an atom, now take all the way up, coalescence to human, and then think way out to some other being on another planet, or what we're going to evolve into with even higher levels of perception and cognition and sensory ability. Still, you're going to do the same thing. In a more sophisticated manner, you're going to take pure consciousness and collapse it into a duality of subject and object. But health, happiness comes from realizing that you are using this body.
Yeah, and that
you are using this brain to do this. It is not who you are. Don't identify even with the body and the brain that's doing this, because you're more than that. And if you want to truly feel really healthy and promote health of the body and happiness, realize that your body and your brain are here to serve you, and you are neither your body nor what you're now.
You are the non-dual awareness, the non-dual consciousness, the immeasurable potential of all that was, is, and will be, that splits into object and subject in every moment of conscious experience. Hans-Peter Duhr, who worked with Werner Heisenberg, was a very good friend of mine and will be in Munich. I'm meeting him. He's now in his 80s. He says what we call elementary particles are haps. I said, what are haps? It's a short word for happenings. And the happening is a conscious moment. So reality is a continuum of conscious moments discontinuously, like watching a film. A film is a series of discontinuous frames that gives the appearance of continuity. So the universe is a series of discontinuous conscious moments that come together so fast.
We create time.
Recreate.
We create the time. We create past, present, future as a way to interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wonder is if we assume that there is eternal potentiality, pure potentiality, always there. So we also assume that there's always eternal and pure actuality. Mm-hmm. That everything that can be actualized from pure potential is already actualized.
Or is a never-ending horizon. Or is, if there's evolution, it's actualized at one level, in the transcendent level,
Yeah.
but at the immanent level, it's a never-ending horizon as a timeline.
Is the universe evolving to actualize more and more,
Mm-hmm.
or is it already actualized?
It's both. That's what religions call transcendent and immanent at the same time. It's both. Well, I think that's enough for now. We have to complete this, but this is a very fascinating discussion, because in a sense it also raises the whole validity of science as a method to explore reality, because science is based on the subject-object split, which is in a sense artificial. Nature is one. Okay, nature is before the subject-object. So how do you measure the universe from inside the universe? How does a microbe in the gut measure the human body? I would ask the question. We are little organelles inside the universe, and we're trying to measure it objectively as if we were outside, and there is no outside.
I think there are two rules there: humility and open-mindedness.
That's a perfect way to end.
Yeah.
Perfect. Seek the company of those who are looking for the truth. Run away from those who have found it.
Yeah.
We're still looking.